Hey everybody, this is Bob Cargill, and I am here today with Avidia Bank's Katelin Cwieka, and we are going to talk about marketing and social media during this pandemic. So yes, we are living in historic time right now, and first and foremost, I want to say I'm thinking of all of you. Health, family, ourselves, life itself comes first. So we're all hunkering down. Most people are working from home, and again, be careful out there. Be safe. Stay healthy. First and foremost, that's our message to you. But putting the marketing perspective on things, that's why Kate has joined me, and we're going to talk a little bit about how I'll speak for myself, how marketers should be adjusting and maybe even putting on pause some of their marketing and advertising efforts. Hey, Kate, how are you? So good to talk to you today. What is going on in your world?
Hi, Bob. It's great to be here today. And, this is it right now. I'm working at home. Been home for just about a week now, and just working away. And a lot of it's been scramble, to say the least, and all coronavirus all the time. So, but we're getting through it. So it's been so far working out pretty decently.
So, Kate, you and I. So this I'm going to post later on Bob Cargill's Marketing Roadshow Facebook group. We were hoping, I say my team, Helen Pachansky, Claudia Diaz, and Samantha Vengers, we were going to put on a live event like we did last fall where you spoke. You were
Yep.
awesome. You were one of my featured speakers at that event. We had about 100 people at Out of Office, co-working space in Hudson. And the idea was to do it again and again and again. Obviously, we can't have those in-person events now. We're doing things virtually, and it's radical, it's historic, it's transformative. I think. Tell me what you think. It certainly is putting our digital communications, which a lot of us use anyways, on the map. I mean, everybody's realizing they have to go online, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's changing their strategy for all of this. And, I know we talk a lot about social media, but I've seen such an uptick in social media for people that maybe weren't using it as much, but it's just a way that they can connect with people while they're stuck at home or they, just kind of are more isolated right now. So, and businesses are trying to do the same, but hopefully providing the right message too, which I know we're going to talk about a little bit today.
Absolutely. I did a video. I can't believe it. It was only a week or so ago, but I look at it and it seems like days gone by, meaning it was in Copley Square with people in the background. I was in Boston. It might have been my last day or two in Boston last week. And I talked about how marketers need to change. And I mentioned CVS because I think that day or the day before, CVS had announced they were going to deliver prescriptions for free to their customers. And I
Wow.
said, that's how we have to do it, marketers. We have to respond to the times. And I props and kudos to CVS. How has Avidia Bank, I've been looking at your social. I know you guys are doing, it seems a lot of messages now about the community, bringing people together, showing support. Any examples specific that you can share with us?
Yeah, a couple things. I think first and foremost, just getting the right information out there. We're seeing a ton of misinformation, people sharing things out there that's not true, or that's, not just in the bank, but just in this whole pandemic in general. So I think the more of us as businesses and marketers share the right information, the better that we'll all be, because we know how stuff spreads on social. Some of the things that we've been doing though is, first of all, I took down all of our scheduled posts and then went forward and put together some things, maybe some feel-good content, some great things that are happening in the community. We shared some resources for businesses, and we also put out a call out for businesses to let them know how we can help them as a community, because I know everybody's in a unique situation as a business. And we've also been, we actually just went out and bought some gift cards at the branches, because the branches are running through drive up only, but from local businesses. So if you're coming by and you have to do your banking, we're at least trying to help out and support those businesses, but by also handing out a gift card as people come in for their transactions. So, and we're sharing that on social, and we're getting a lot of love for it, which is great. It's a
Jeez,
nice feel
yeah.
good thing. Yeah.
You're just randomly handing out business gift cards to people who do the drive up banking? Is that how it's working?
Yeah, and some of the branches have been doing some fun things like, oh, every third blue car that comes through or something like that. So just
Wow.
like some random fun things, but it brightens people's days. But it also, hopefully, when those businesses reopen their doors, then hopefully people will be going out and spending some money with them.
That is, I did not know you were doing that, and that's an amazing story. It's comparable or in line with what I was talking about this morning. You and I were supposed to do a live conversation, and technical difficulties on my end got in the way. But so I went ahead and did a monologue, if you will, and I was talking about, you know, brands can emerge as leaders, and you may not, and it sounds like Avidia Bank, I'm not surprised, is emerging, surfacing with doing some great stuff, heroic stuff, because even though business might not be going on as usual and we might not be making as much at all as what we could, when we come out of all of this, your customers are going to remember that gesture, that generosity.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hope. And on another note, so one of our executive team members actually went out and was buying lunch for all the branches at some of the different restaurants. And that's pretty expensive to buy lunch for them, but it helps keeps everybody's spirits high. And it's something that we've actually seen some restaurants show that too. Like, hey, we're still doing corporate catering, and just to try to get them some highlighting on social media too, that we're supporting them in the best way that we can.
So you really point out some important things that a lot of brands and businesses should be mindful of. And you mentioned, stopping the set it, my word, set it and forget it, social media, put the human face on your brand, a smile on your face, and help one another, because times like this, we all need each other. I did a thread on Twitter also the other day that someone reached out to me and said, hey, can I use this in an article that I'm writing on how and I noticed it, and that's why I wrote this thread, some accounts on Twitter, they were still just, again, my words, mailing it in, if you will. You could tell they had all these tweets set up, and
Yeah.
it just was a little bit tone deaf. It wasn't in line with what's going on in reality. And I said, this is the social media folks, and I think people like you and me at Avidia Bank, I'm sure there's a few other businesses out there that get it and are prepared for this, because they've always been marketing that way anyways, the human side of business. That's how I think of Avidia Bank.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it, is just humanizing all that. We're seeing all this information out there, but who are we really? So that's an opportunity for us. But also, removing all your scheduled posts, as you said, and even earlier in your monologue, I had left a comment too, like, if you have automated emails, I'm seeing people that are sending out an email saying like, hey, this is what we're doing for COVID-19. And then 20 minutes later, I get like an email offer from them that was probably just scheduled to go out anyways, but like, make sure you're removing that too. So any messaging you have out there. And, something else that we had to work on too was, in our branches, we have various TV screens, and we use those screens to showcase community events and things that are happening. And obviously a lot of community events have been postponed or canceled. So I just went ahead and removed those because, first of all, people are going to point them out. But second of all, it's just better to take down that messaging and leave room for what's important right now.
Yeah, it's a scramble, and we're all human. And again, at the top of this conversation, I mentioned, health and family and people first. So we obviously have to give people a grace period, businesses a grace period to adjust. I mean, I mentioned in that monologue this morning, I see some furniture ads and some car ads, and I turn on the radio. I like my sports radio. Big story in the news this week, obviously, Tom Brady leaving the Patriots. We're also sad to see him go. But my favorite sports radio station, they have these ads that are the same ads I've been hearing, for weeks or months or years. But I think they need to, realize, hey, maybe some of those ads just aren't appropriate anymore. The brands and businesses say, put those ads on hold, just because people literally, you're hearing ads for things that you literally can't buy anyways, because those physical stores might not even be open, or you're not supposed to go out and shop around other people anyways. We social distancing and almost a quarantine situation are we in, a shelter in place. So it just seems like there's this middle ground that pretty soon everyone needs to find, businesses and brands I'm speaking about.
Agreed. I mean, we've dealt with some of the radio stuff on our end too. So we do have some advertising on sports radio and some other places. And we're actually tailoring some of our messages to what's going on right now and what resources we can provide for the community. More of a PSA than anything. But, just putting our brand behind that because it's important instead of self-promotion. And I think another thing that I've been seeing a lot of is, people are advertising like all their promotions, but at the same time, people aren't feeling secure in putting their money behind a large purchase. You were mentioning a car earlier. Does everybody feel secure purchasing a new car, new piece of furniture? Maybe just hold on that and wait until we kind of level off, specifically in the economy side as well.
It's almost like, obviously we're all in this together. It's overwhelming if you think of it in totality. But it's almost like everything has to be somehow put on pause. About my car, I teach college classes, marketing. I think you know that. And I've been talking in my classes about the car buying experience in general before the coronavirus crisis. And now I can't imagine how automobile dealerships have the extent to which they have to adjust to these times, meaning, because I have to turn in a car soon for a lease, but I am not comfortable doing that now. I'm not comfortable going into the automobile dealership. They have to change their whole, business, as do we all. And so it's the ramifications are exponentially affecting us, and to such a great degree. We're all in this together.
Yeah, for sure.
Another good example, far cry from banking, I think, was Guinness Beer on, I don't know if you saw this on St. Patrick's Day. They came out with a fantastic ad. They adjusted, they reacted, and it was inspiring. And they said something like, "We'll march again." And I was thinking, Guinness Beer, one day of the whole year, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, they're counting on people drinking a lot of Guinness beer in bars and restaurants, which I think were closed. But,
yeah.
They responded in such a positive way. And it's the kind of ad that's memorable that makes me think, when we can celebrate and go out and toast to one another, Guinness beer is one of the first beers I would think of because of that ad. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was really well done, and made me feel better about the fact that I had to celebrate St. Patrick's Day at home.
Did you watch? I watched the Dropkick Murphys live on the internet. That was another great example of responding to the moment.
Yeah. A lot of adjustments are being made right now, and a lot of them on the fly. But I think it's been really impressive to see businesses, organizations, musicians, artists just adapt.
Everybody's doing this live thing. The musicians, now we can talk to them every day thanks to social media and watch them play. And I saw Bono did some song. I think he wrote a new song for Italy or something. I don't know the details, but I did see him and I love him. Saw him on social media. Hey, back to banking, and shame on me, I'm not an Avidia bank customer, but one day I hope maybe. But I think so highly of your bank and you, of course, Kate. But about banking, I did my first deposit by phone the other day, taking pictures of my checks with my bank. I bet you a lot of people, the Luddites or laggards, whatever the word is, who haven't gone digital are going to start banking digitally now. I would imagine you're seeing some of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we don't have the numbers yet for that, but we've definitely seen an uptick in people requesting help on how to access some of those things. How do I deposit this to my account? How do I use, we have like a people pay feature where you can send money, kind of like Venmo. So like, how do I send money to people? Because I can't go to the bank and I can't deposit a check in person, or I can't withdraw money. So yeah, we're definitely seeing people at least request how to on using those features. And we've been driving people to that as well, because right now at our branches, we're at drive up only capacity. And we're encouraging people to just try to do your banking as much as you can at home, just to try to keep with this whole social social distancing thing. And, I think that that's what we're seeing is that a lot of people are going to either the call center or they're going to be doing their banking through the mobile app or online.
So the branches aren't open at all, just your drive-throughs. Is that correct?
Yeah, we made that decision on Monday this week to have all the branches go to drive-through only just for the fact of social distancing. It's been really working out really well. There's definitely some challenges with it. Obviously, we can't do every single transaction through the drive up, but we can do a majority of them. And we are making exceptions for certain customers as well. Some people may need to come in to get to their safe deposit box. If somebody needs to come in and let's say they have an appointment for their house closing, which you can't really move those dates a lot of times. So we're just trying to be as flexible as possible, but also still, being respectful of the time that we have right now with social distancing. So
yeah, here I am, talking about car dealerships. I mean, it has to affect Avidia Bank and other banks, the financial industry. I mean, I can only imagine the scrambling that must be going on, the meetings you must be having online, how to handle things that were routine. I didn't even think of that, like a mortgage or, people who are maybe got an appointment to come in for a loan and all of a sudden they can't. How do those meetings take place? All that transferring of paper, suddenly it has to be done electronically or literally put on hold. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky in that we have a lot of electronic capacity, but there are still some things that do have to happen in person. So, that's definitely changed how we're doing things. And, we're just doing things the best that we can right now.
And Kate, you're obviously working from home, and how personally is that to you? Have you done it before? Is it something you're accustomed to? Is it a big change for your daily work routine? Do you like it, or what are you doing during your coffee breaks? Anything interesting? Taking a walk?
Well, I think so. I've worked from home before, and I've done it at a prior job, and I've done it. I do it occasionally now, but this has been the longest I've ever actually worked from home. And it's tedious because my husband's also working from home right now, so we're both kind of trying to separate ourselves because we're both been on calls nonstop. But it's working out well. I'm getting a lot of stuff done. I think with the new capabilities of different conference calls or things like this, having a video call. It's been really beneficial. One thing that I did find, maybe a couple days ago is just having some sort of routine, because it's easy to just be like, oh, I'm going to roll out of bed in my pajamas and just sit in front of my computer and then work till, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. That's something that you can fall into when you're working at home. So what I'm trying to do is just get up early, go for my run, have my breakfast, do all those kinds of things, and then finish up work at my normal time if I can. And then, maybe work out or something, walk the dog, just do some things that are in my normal routine if I was going into the office. And I think that that's been helpful, to say the least.
Okay, you and I have several things in common, many things in common, but several things in common that I haven't mentioned. You mentioned running just then. I'm president of the Greater Framingham Running Club. You and I like to run. We haven't run much together, if at all, but that's something we have in common. Running, the emotional, obviously physical, but the emotional benefits, and especially during a time like this, is astronomical, I think.
Yeah, and even today, I mean, it's raining out, so my plan is to go out for a run this afternoon, and that's like perfect social distancing because no one will be outside during the rain, but I will be.
It's the epitome of social distancing. It's funny, because I run almost daily. I work from home in general. This is my home office. I know a little bit cluttered behind me, but I like all my eclectic things on the wall. But I run almost daily, and now more than ever, it makes me feel good because, geez, otherwise we're just cooped up. And I also would be remiss in not mentioning you and I both graduates of Leadership Metro West, a great organization, leadership organization. Helen Lemoyne, shout out to her. And
Awesome.
With maybe 30 years difference in terms of the classes we graduated from. I think I graduated from the class in 92 or something. But Leadership Metro West, great group, and we never, I don't recall, talked about how to deal with a global pandemic, but it does prepare you to handle difficult situations like this. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I'm on the board of directors right now for Leadership Metro West, and Helen was kind enough to send out a communication to us. Some of it was from the actual leadership syllabus, one of the chapters on resiliency.
Oh
So she
my.
sent some snippets there, and it was really helpful. And I sent it out to my team at Avidia, and I think it really resonated with us. And it was just something that was really helpful, but reminded me of some of the things that we learned in the academy.
Kate, I'm proud to be an alum of Leadership Metro West and to know you. And I honestly did not know you were on the board. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Congrats to you. So many things are happening in your life that are big and huge accomplishments. And I admire and respect you for everything that you do.
Oh, thank you.
And thanks for taking the time today. I plan, so we're recording this. I plan to put it up on social media later on today, hopefully. But I hope people enjoy listening and watching to Katelin Cwieka from Avidia Bank and myself, Bob Cargill, talk about marketing and social media during this pandemic. And we both wish you all the best. Be well, stay healthy, and until the next time, bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Kate.